we have a tendency as human beings to fixate on like one thing and try to nail that one thing. We like to believe that we can hit a home run. We like to believe that there's a silver bullet. We like to believe that there's just one thing that holds the key to the secrets of life. What we're going to be discussing today is the folly of thinking about complex matters in terms of silos. And when I speak about silos, what I'm talking about is a tendency for people to fixate on one aspect of a matter and focus in on that one thing and just do that one thing in the hopes that it's going to solve whatever issue they're trying to address. Okay, so we're going to jump in, but first, let me introduce myself. I am Mark Johnson, the founder of Bounce Pep, bringing you ideas for a fit and flourishing future. I'm also the youngest son of Bill Johnson. Thank you for being here, and I hope you go ahead and comment. If you disagree or agree with anything that you hear in this, it's fine. Go ahead and leave your comments. I do appreciate it. And of course, I appreciate you being here with me, lending me your ear. Let's get right down to this. So, when we talk about a silo, what we're simply saying is thinking about a complex subject matter in an exclusionary way. So, a lot of times what people will do, they'll fixate on one aspect of a complicated subject matter and they'll pour all of their energy and effort into addressing that one thing to the exclusion of all the other aspects that will affect the outcome. And you want to be wary of doing this. And I love to start off explaining things in terms of your health and fitness because it's really easy for you to understand. Let me give just a quick example. If you know anything about vitamin D, then you know that vitamin D needs magnesium in order to be absorbed into the body. So basically, vitamin D is not very useful to you if you don't have adequate magnesium intake as well in order to essentially activate the vitamin D so that you can use it in your body. So some people, for instance, they may take a simple vitamin D supplement or something like that, but they're not really getting the magnesium that they need to activate all of that extra vitamin D, and so it's not doing anything. So this is just one simple example of how thinking in a silo can lead you perhaps to not achieve the results that you want to achieve because you aren't considering other factors that would affect the outcome. So when you are getting in shape, I want you to think about this. There are really three factors that you need to keep in mind. The first is your diet. What are your dietary habits? How are you eating on a regular basis? The second is your training. Okay, this is how you are going to work out and build your endurance and your muscle and your flexibility. What exactly are you going to do to train? And the third thing is rest. Okay, so when you're getting yourself in the best shape of your life, you really need to look at diet, training, and rest. You have to look at all three of those in order to achieve the results that you want to achieve, especially if you are looking to transform the actual look of your body. This is going to be very, very important for you to appreciate, like understand the importance of diet, training, and rest. If you focus in on simply diet and you don't do anything on the training side and you do nothing really on the rest side, then you're not going to achieve the results that you want to achieve. Same thing with training. If all you do is train, but you don't eat properly and you don't rest properly, then you're going to shortchange yourself in terms of getting the results. If you are just resting, but you're not eating correctly and you're not training enough, then guess what? You're not going to get the results. So you have to look at all aspects, all three major aspects, okay? Understand some basic things that you should be doing and work on all three things basically at the same time in order to get the results. Now, this of course applies in all aspects of your life. When you're dealing with complex subjects, I want you to be wary of, we have a tendency as human beings to fixate on like one thing and try to nail that one thing. We like to believe that we can hit a home run. We like to believe that there's a silver bullet. We like to believe that there's just one thing that holds the key to the secrets of life. And that's generally actually not true. Usually there are a lot of factors that work together, a lot of aspects, a lot of things that you have to do properly. Fairly well. You have put the pieces of the puzzle together and have things working in conjunction, in tandem with one another, so that everything kind of synergizes and produces the result that you need. And this is all I really want to talk to you today about, because I hear a lot of simplistic thinking, a lot of simplistic ideas, a lot of people fixating on singular ideas and trying to convince everyone else, trying to convince the world that, if you just do this one thing, then everything else will fall into place. But that's typically not how it works. Okay. And again, I like to use the examples from fitness because I know it's very, very easy for you guys to understand. So again, let me just repeat. If you're trying to get in the best shape of your life, and especially if you're trying to transform the look of your body, very simple to understand, right? You got to do something right with your diet. You've got to do something right with your training. You got to do something right with your rest. Let me talk about the rest a little bit more, because that's not something that I typically talk to you a lot about. But I want you to understand something. Eat whole, fresh foods, okay? Don't eat a lot of junk food. Don't drink a lot of soft drinks. Uh, Lay off the fried food. You can have some of that stuff sometimes, but the major parts of your diet should be whole, healthy, fresh foods. Okay, so you got that point. Train. You need to be going in, training, working out, lift the heavy stuff. If you're gonna get some cardio in, get it in. But I want you to be training on a regular basis. It's that third piece, the rest, where I think a lot of people actually drop the ball. And this is people who are actually eating properly and training properly. A lot of times, what you'll find is they're falling short on the rest. And I've been guilty of this actually myself. Rest is very, very important, because when you're resting, that is when your body is recovering and repairing itself. Especially when we talk about sleep, a lot of your body's repair functions actually activate while you are sleeping, and especially even your brain. Your brain requires sleep in order to kind of organize your thoughts and strengthen your memory and basically help you to make sense of the world. A lot of that happens when you're asleep. Okay, and so you've got to get adequate sleep so that you recharge both your physical capacities as well as your brain capacities. It's very, very important that you get rest and sleep. Now, typically, this is going to be, well, if you look it up, you'll hear 7 to 9 hours. That's typically what the recommendation is. From my personal experience, just me personally, I would say that's about right. 7 to 9 hours is a pretty good amount of sleep. It's going to allow you to most of you are going to be able to recharge on 7 to 9 hours of sleep and, wake up feeling good. You can get a good start to your day, and you'll have, especially like the mental wherewithal to carry on throughout the day. What I found personally is that when I don't get enough sleep, if I have a night where I sleep like maybe 4 hours or something like that, or 5 hours, typically, especially if it's less than five, then I find that especially mentally, I can't focus as well, that next day. So for me personally, I have to get a minimum of 5 hours of sleep in order to really function at a decent capacity mentally. And this is just my personal experience. Some of you may have a different experience. And of course, we're all slightly different. But I just want to impress upon you the importance of getting enough rest, because again, that's going to help your body recover, help your mind recover, right? Now, getting back to my main point in all this, don't think of complex issues in silos. Educate yourself about the whatever the matter is, whatever the issue is that you're working on, educate yourself about it, learn about different facets of it, okay, and then try to begin understanding how things work together so that you're not getting stuck, kind of like going down a rabbit hole, just fixated on one aspect and then leaving out everything, thinking in silos again, right? You want to avoid that. So, this is just my advice to you today. I want you to take this with you and talk to you next time, and make sure that you keep a nice broad view so that you get the results that you want. Whatever you're working on right now, I want you to get those results, okay? So talk to you next time.